What's going on, football fans? It's me, J.R. Clark, back again with another Falcon Eye View, another pound for pound. We'll just call it a pound for pound, right? Falcon Eye View is more for in-depth type stuff. Definitely not going to be doing in-depth. Just trying to have a little bit of fun this time around. Had some scheduling conflicts with Ian Cummins of PDF, so that video will hopefully be out next week. But I didn't want to leave y'all without something, for the latter part of this week. So I decided to take a stab this year at doing like some bold predictions. Now I'm going to do some bold predictions for the offensive side and for the defensive side. This video is just going to be about the offensive side. So I'm going to take a stab at 5 bold predictions that I think that are going to transpire during this offseason. And I don't know if I want them to come true or not, but this is what I think are very realistic possibilities and possibilities that might potentially set the Twitterverse on fire or our comments on fire, one or the other. All right, without further ado, number 5. I think we're going to re-sign Cordell Patterson. And like, JR, why is that a bold prediction? Well, because a lot of people may have felt like after his one breakout season that he might have priced himself out of Atlanta. And this is the bold part. I think we're going to pay him close to what, like Spotrac says, the market value for him is. And I think we're also going to give him a few more years than people are thinking. So I think initially that contract is going to sound crazy for a, 30-year-old gadget player that just has finally broke out. And, we're going to be all like, that's too much money. But I think it's all going to be backloaded, and I think it's going to be heavily incentive-laden. But Cordell Patterson has made it known that he wants to be here. He's, why not retire here? And I think that's what's going to happen. He was the spark plug for Arthur Smith's offense. And I think in you being utilized in a similar fashion, but not as much volume, I think he can continue to be that spark plug for the offense as guys like Kyle Pitts and others grow into their role. So that's number 5. Number 4, kind of building off of that, in a sense, like I said, focusing on the offense. I don't think we sign a wide receiver in the offseason at all. We just signed, just brought in Ryan Pace, former, Chicago Bears general manager. We have a lot of Chicago brain trust here in Atlanta now. So a lot of people want to connect the easy dot of Allen Robinson. I don't think we sign anybody, to be completely honest. I was in a space chat a couple weeks ago and somebody brought up a good point that, yes, he had A.J. Brown and Corey Davis, but the type of offense that Arthur Smith runs doesn't necessarily need or warrant a, true number 1 receiver. He needs guys that are good with yards after the catch, bigger body guys. Those guys can be found in other places. So I don't think we sign a free agent wide receiver. What I do think we do, and this is going to lead me into 3. Well, you know what? Back up just for a second. I think what we do, instead of signing one, I think we draft a wide receiver. This year's draft has some pretty good talent, or at least on the surface, it seems like it has some pretty good talent, and it seems like that talent can be found all over the board. I think we're going to end up with an extra pick somewhere, as I'm about to get into, but I think that we draft our wide receiver 1 or our wide receiver of the future. That's how I think we handle that. I don't think that we sign one in free agency. All right, bold prediction number 3. I do think that we trade Calvin Ridley. You say, why is that a bold prediction? Okay, I think trading Calvin Ridley then prompts them to re-sign Russell Gage and label him as wide receiver 1. So it's kind of a multifaceted bold prediction here. I think we get a first-round pick in this year's draft. I'm going to go ahead and call the shot. It's either going to be Philly or Miami. I say Philly because they're going to try to bolster Jalen Hurts, and they have extra picks. So I say we trade Ridley to Philly and then re-sign Gage and label him our number one. Even though I think our true number one is going to be whoever we draft, whether it be in the first round, whatever. But that's my bold prediction. For bold prediction number 3 is that we trade Ridley and we re-sign Gage as our number one wide receiver, which is going to make everybody crazy, myself included. Because I think to do that, you're going to have to give him a bigger contract than the fan base wants to give him. But he started to put it together towards the end of the season, getting on, like being able to handle what Smith was asking him to do. So that's my bold prediction there. Bold prediction number 2, in descending fashion, is that we ride with Jalen Mayfield and Caleb McGarry. That we ride with both of those guys going into this season. And I think the reason why is because we sign a free agent center. I think if you sandwich a free agent center, or you sandwich Mayfield between a veteran free agent center and Jake Matthews, I think his play will take a step forward. And I think in general his play is going to take a step forward. There were times that he anchored down and was able to hold up, and there were times last season that the Falcons ran left quite a bit behind Jake Matthews and Jalen Mayfield. So, I'm not saying he's going to be all world. I'm not even saying that he's ever going to be a Pro Bowler. I'm saying that we ride with Mayfield and he takes a step forward. And I think we ride with McGarry and his competition comes from maybe the draft or a low-level free agent. But I think the big change on the offensive line is going to be an offensive center. And I'm hoping it's Ben Jones myself. So that's my bold prediction for bold prediction number 2, is that we ride with Mayfield, we ride with McGarry, to the bewilderment of everybody, even myself, but that we sign a free agent center, and then that elevates the play of Mayfield. And I think if we elevate the play of Mayfield, we can just mask the weakness of McGarry for one more season. That's kind of where my thought process is there. All right, last but not least, my bold prediction number 5. Drum roll, please. If I can find a sound bite, I might play it there, but probably not. Anyway, drum roll, please. My bold prediction for this offseason is that the Atlanta Falcons do absolutely nothing with Matt Ryan's contract. I think they let him go into this season with a $48 million cap hit. They free up their cap space by trading Ridley, dropping some lower-level guys, the Davisons, the Sheffields, that kind of stuff. They fill out their roster with one splash signing, which I think is the free agent center. And then they sprinkle in, some more of these 1 years. But they lean heavily on their draft class of last year and their draft class coming in. I don't think they touch Matt Ryan's contract because I think that they want to walk away from it next year if he doesn't ball out. If he doesn't ball out this year, they want to be able to sever ties with him with as little repercussions as possible. They're going to give him one more year to try to ball out with a better offensive line, potentially a better run game depending on what they do in the draft. But ultimately, they're going to give him one more year to try to ball out, and if he doesn't ball out, they're going to walk away from him. They'll cite, whatever. Age, ineffectiveness, doesn't matter. Because at the end of next season, or going into next season, like his dead cap drops dramatically. You pick up, I think, 22 or 23 million in cap space if you walk away from him. That's my opinion. That's my big, bold prediction, is I've been saying that they have to do something with Ryan's contract, that they have to do something to not have a $48 million cap hit. There's been plenty of tweets and stuff out there that leads me to believe that the NFL GMs don't care as much about cap as we do. I mean, the Rams have showed you that. The Saints have showed you that for years. They're negative $72 million, and I guarantee you they'll be under it by the time it rolls around, and they'll field a competent team. And this is where Fontenot come from. So I don't think he's going to care that Matt Ryan has a $48 million contract. I think he'll see that as 1 year closer to being able to walk away from him. And I think that's what they're going to do, next offseason. Now, really watch what they do in the draft, and it was something we'll be talking about as we run up to it. If they choose this year to draft a quarterback and then they don't touch Matt Ryan's contract, then you'll know that my bold prediction is possibly pretty accurate. So that's what I got for you, y'all. That's my 5 bold offensive bold predictions. Next week I'll come out with the 5 defensive bold predictions. I hope y'all enjoyed it. As always, follow me on Twitter. I'm at Grim1128. Check out the website, Pound ATL. It's P4PATL.com. P4PATL.com. If y'all like you feel like you want to subscribe, we got a Patreon. There's a merch shop. There's all different ways to support us, but you can definitely support us by just watching. Appreciate it. And as always, Falcons fans, let's just win.